hate it, but we're not. You're supposed to be challenging us, making us,
Okay, so everybody though, I know we're gonna watch it here, but log on to the Twitch, just so that we have numbers on the channel, and so that you can engage in the chat.
Oh shit. I remembered I told my old professor about the videos about to something.
Okay,
Yeah, you can do it on
here, and
video calls.
He has
is hidden, but for simplicity and expediency, the computer will stream everything on its screen tonight and everything it hears. And the microphone is a webcam above the monitor. Like I said.
Okay, so I should be more restrained than usual. Is that what you're saying?
You are hot mic right now. So.
Okay, hot mic. Well, I love SIU, and they're doing everything right.
So,
Awesome.
one thing, just how do I see the chat?
What's that?
Chat. That's my.
To see the chat, we want to go and sorry, I'll just do this so I can't see it for now. And then Prism. Show.
Are you a coward?
She is. Okay.
Be proud, Maggie.
Maggie is a proud coward.
Bryce is.
I am not a coward.
Alexis, you can't join
Yes, I can.
Okay. So we can do this so you can see both at the same time. Like show your video here. Is that best?
Yes.
Okay. They can't see it just yet, but they will shortly.
Oh, there we go.
The stream is still seeing this.
Will they see me? Is there any way that they don't?
They do not right now. I have not turned the camera on.
Like and admire about them.
Do you want them to see you?
No.
Okay, then they won't.
Okay, that's good.
You're invisible.
Yeah.
You're the voice from nowhere.
Okay.
You're Oz. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
So we do this, and then we do this, and when you're ready, you let these rip, and we make sure chat is visible.
Just like someone who's really, really into like artsy movies, that was like my
Actually, that film.
I brought my ex-boyfriend to the lighthouse and
Okay.
he did it, and he was like,
She begins.
he fucking hated it.
Great. You can't
Oh, it's
see
a movie.
anything.
It's like black and white. It's like in 3x5.
Or is that intentional?
She has a
Yes. Oh my goodness, that movie was.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're gonna have a 1-minute movie, and then we're gonna have something else that you're not gonna like, but I'm gonna enjoy you not liking it. So let's start.
What have you done picking?
That was the challenge.
Yeah, that's the challenge. Let's see. So, this was the first one. It was, of course, I remember. I wonder what you thought of it, or what you thought happened. If you thought there was any story at all, I'm curious about all of it. Oh, thank you, Snarky Cynic. You've loved everything I've ever made. I haven't, but I'm glad that you have. Yeah, that's just how weddings be sometimes. That is true.
The conversation about the art takes place.
start when they're really old and go backward all the way. She
Participatory.
disassociated on the way up to the altar. It can be. I mean, feels like someone nervous for their wedding. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that was really difficult with this was that it's hard to play with weddings because it can only go like two ways. Maybe it can be about them breaking up or getting angry or something like that. So it was a challenge, but it gave me ideas for some other projects. So I don't know if it was a failed project or not, but it sure was fun. So the second one, but still let me know what you thought of it or if you thought there was any story in there. The second one is silence.
Okay. Good.
Well, let me know what you thought. Apart from this scenery right here, and the one after that with the trains, the rest of them were shot, and the footages were from different parts in Iran. Here was a desert in Iran. This was a village in northern part of Iran. This is Tehran. The car ride was in Tehran. So yeah.
It was beautiful.
I now feel that I can speak with authority about Iran. I feel like I've been there.
I feel like I just went on a journey, like a trip somewhere.
Yeah. I feel like we should see this on TV, you know?
Yeah.
More often.
It should be like between TV shows, they should like show this as like a palette.
It was like a
cleanser.
massage for my brain.
Mhm.
Yeah. Submit it to Adult Swim so they can play it as a bumper. That would be great.
I still think that it can be pushed more. I still think there's a theme to it. I'm not sure if there is a story there or if the viewer would try to put them together. I don't think so. How do you feel?
I think it was more like the sensory experience for me. It was sort of like going on a journey of different sensations and like input, you know, the different sounds. And there were some sounds that I liked more than others. But then you have those like blocks of silence, which then made everything in the room sound much louder, like the humming that's happening out there. So that was very interesting to notice that.
I think, I don't know if that's something you want to do, like you want the listener to kind of put together a story, because I think the moments where I felt inclined more to do that are the ones where you included some like visuals of like someone walking or like the person's kind of perspective in that way. Because I think if it's a compilation of like different places, I am more inclined to just feel like it's a relaxing experience and less of a story. Whereas if you have, and the sparkler moment also made it feel more personal. Somebody holding it.
Well, no, the sparkler suddenly puts the protagonist, right, or the first person view. You suddenly have an identity. Yeah.
And I think that awareness of the first person view is the most, not the most interesting, but like from like a structural sense, where the story is kind of characterized by the person who's filming it. Like that is kind of, we exist like through the camera as vehicle, but like that you formatting this and going through it and editing it and putting it together, that like you as the kind of body, the vehicle that puts us through this is a through line throughout it. That we get, like, we can compose story from the scenes, but also just the presence of taking this and composing it also, like there's kind of a sense there as well that dovetails nicely.
Yeah, like a lot of parts in it just reminded me of like experiences that I've had in my life. And so it like brought me back. Like when you're sitting by the lake, I would like, Madison has 4 lakes. So I spend a lot of time just like sitting on the banks of like them and like looking at it. So I don't know, I thought it was good.
And part of it like reminded me of like CCTV. I don't know if you like watch like world CCTV around the world.
That's so cool. I do that when I'm bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just, you know, different places in the world where you're like looking around. Like I love like Southeast Asia and stuff. Like you just go on like different crossroads or nature or like parks and stuff. Like it's random. Like it's like you're watching. It's like an observer.
I watch a ton of Ryan Celsius, and he takes that footage and remix artists from SoundCloud and just a 24-hour stream, and it'll be like a bus in Japan or something.
It's awesome.
It's mesmerizing.
It's just
Well, have you ever, you can play this game on Google Earth, but it's really great in Google Earth VR, that it'll just drop you down in a random place. And you have to figure out, like, from road signs and vegetation and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm always like, oh, it's Tennessee, and it's cold.
My ex was like very, very good at that game. Like he could like anywhere in the world probably tell you what country it was in. It's kind of scary, honestly.
Autism is a gift.
Oh, you're right. Right. I would like sit there on his stream and just watch him and be like, oh yeah, here's in Tennessee. This is like Road 83 in Tennessee. And I was like, what the hell? Like, it's crazy.
Great. Well, thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you.
I've got a couple dumb things, and then one of you spicy people, prepare yourselves to be spicy.
Your stuff's not spicy?
It's a little spicy.
Okay.
It's not that spicy.
Just so you have the spicy warning. You know, we're all
Spice warning. No, you just mentioned the Geo game, and well, you've all met Harrison. That's one of my many sons, but you haven't met Brian, who's my son, who is now a captain in the Army and in the PsyOps division, so he's a pretty twisted kid. And he made this a while back.
Well, given that you're a product of MK Ultra, it just seems to.
Stop.
Docs
Oh,
Patrol.
did I say that on camera? I'm sorry.
Okay, so
I know I'm supposed to.
here's a video Brian made mocking that game.
Record, so let's go ahead and we're gonna go for it. Ready and set it. Okay, easy start. This is Antigua, Guatemala. Nice. Okay, this is looking like Spain. It's northern, but not too far north. Leon, great, nice. Okay, so we've got a forest, Ewok Hut, so this is Forest Moon Vendor. Next, nice. This is southern Illinois. Nice. Too easy. Castle Walls are dead giveaway. This is Valador and Asgarnia. Next. Everyone knows this one. This is Rome. Next. Really nice houses. This is either Vinewood or Rockford Hills, but it's in Los Santos. We're going to put it right in between, and there it is. Okay, and this is let's look around. This is where the plane crashed in season 8, episode 24 of Grey's Anatomy. UNT National Forest, right in between Seattle and Boise. Nice. Okay, last one to win the contest. Oh, this is easy. Those are my shoes at the doorway there, and this was taken at your mom's house.
That's my boy. Then the other one I was going to show very quick.
Your children remain delightful.
Look, someone said to me they were a couple gals I know were looking at having a kid. One of them was having second thoughts, and she said, "How could we even think about bringing a child into this world?" And
Sorry to interrupt this.
Pizza time.
Movie, but or touching whatever you were doing.
It's
But,
short.
Yeah, the pizza is here.
Okay,
So
let's
I'm
go out
out
and get.
front at the end of the sidewalk, standing by a little red car.
Ready, go.
So go, everybody go.
Okay.
If you'll just, will you sign and like a, I don't know, give us, I don't know, what's a good tip? $10?
How much was it? Oh, 10 doesn't sound.
Is that too low?
12?
Well, give 15.
15?
Let's be nice and generous, because, yeah.
Shall I resume my touching 20-second story you chose to bisect?
I apologize for interrupting
You apologize?
that touching, whatever it was.
Anyway, they said, how could we have a kid and bring a kid into this world? And I parroted a quote I heard from somebody else, which said, there's no better time to raise dragon slayers than when there's actual dragons. So my boys are my dragon slayers. They're ready to fuck shit up. Oh,
Yeah,
they're not
my
on the.
excuse was, like, yeah, it's gonna be really bad for them, but who's gonna take care of me? Like,
Someone's got to change my diapers when I get
This
old.
is correct.
I can't even
Okay.
picture like that because my parents were
I showed this to Pinckney a while ago, but this is, and I can't even claim this as in response to the assignment of make something that's aurally annoying. But it is aurally annoying. I did make it for that. I just did it before you even asked me to. So it's like an assignmentception.
That's how we do it, Toby. You and I, man, we're on the same wavelength.
Pass off some random shit I made at 4 a.m. the other week as
homework.
Here it is.
Absolutely.
I was teaching myself to alter the audio in DaVinci Resolve. Okay.
Oh, yes.
And everybody knows what this movie is, right? This is
And
Jaws.
so-
Do they not have Jaws in everyone? They
They
have to.
probably have Jaws, right?
It's just called something different.
Well,
You've been old, you haven't lived under a rock, it's fine.
that's okay. We're
So true.
we're just gonna run Sarvian and anyone who's missed out on this stuff. We're gonna run them through the whole gamut. We got like The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Jaws, Die Hard, all the Christmas movies. So we'll take care of you. We'll fill your head with bullshit.
Fortunate for you.
So anyway, this is me doing terrible voiceover work as usual, and I substituted the John Williams theme for something. We'll see if we can guess what it is.
And did you replace all of the sound?
All of it.
We're coming flicking this down in a while. Gonna need a bigger boat.
I love the Doppler. You know, like,
That's what I was trying to practice.
yeah, it's good.
That's a 20-footer.
And I taught myself that so that I could help out this Spanish class redub these other scenes. Did I show you guys these yet?
Yeah.
So the Spanish class, they this is part of my evil plans for more advanced curriculum in colon, less boring bullshit. The Spanish class picks a scene from a popular movie. Last year they did Game of Thrones. This year they did a movie from Mexico that I'm not as familiar with, but I ripped the audio out of the whole scene. They translate it, and then the kids dub it and act it out. So they make their own audio dub. And they either go English to Spanish or Spanish to English. We're going to start doing it with Brittany and the ASL kids this year. I'm going to green screen them signing in front of stuff.
Nice.
We'll start them with Eminem Rap God. And
Yes, absolutely, immediately, right now.
so this is the product, and because it seems kind of empty when I rip the audio out and just put the kids' voices in, I put in some sound effects. We'll see if you can figure out which sound effects are mine.
I said it's not a done deal yet. Yeah, but you're so awesome. You're obvious.
That one's really subtle because I kept it quiet. No one in the Spanish class picked up on what that is, but listen again.
It's not a done deal yet.
That is, just to give it completely away,
Nice.
that is,
Yes!
Huh? You son of a bitch.
that's how you make Foley sounds, everyone.
It's not a done deal yet.
Bitch.
Yeah, but you're so awesome. You're obviously gonna get it. I know. And what did Alex say? Can you believe that I still haven't told him yet? Because he's obsessed with becoming a dad. Oh, that's great news. No, it's not. It's like a kid throwing a tantrum.
It works.
Will you buy me a puppy?
No,
I swear I'll pick up its poo. And in the end, the mom's gonna have everything. Well, I think
And the timing is really hard for the kids to get it down. It usually takes them a few takes. You know, they talk too soon or talk too late, and we edit, we slide it around. And then the other one that I did for them is this one. And I saw something when I was first editing this footage that reminded me of something, so I went ahead and put in the soundtrack from that movie.
Hey,
hi.
what are you doing here?
Then they dubbed the scene.
Nice. That's really a good idea.
It's a fun assignment for a Spanish class.
Do you know, Toby, you're probably the only person in here potentially old enough to know this, maybe Kevin, but do you know What's Up Tiger Lily? The Woody Allen film?
Mm-mm.
Well,
But I don't think
what's that?
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've seen it.
Well, yeah,
I
it's
haven't seen
Woody Allen bought the rights to a cheap Japanese spy movie like 007 ripoff, and then he and his like repertory cast redubbed the whole thing, and it's amazing. Like and it made things like Mystery Theater, Mystery Science Theater 3000 possible and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a great project, right? To just reimagine, what you're seeing and use sound.
The whole reactor market on YouTube is pretty big, and there's some of them that are really, really fun to enjoy actually. And then there's been a trend of putting people's faces inside video game characters like ridiculous armor. Usually it's Alex Jones inside Warhammer characters armor, because he'll just sort of babble about crazy shit for a while.
Did you see him with Kanye West?
Oh God, that was insane. That was insane.
I had the Kanye West sticker off of my laptop. I had a sticker of one of his tweets.
To be honest, we don't know it was Kanye West. Like he was this guy.
We pretty much know. So this is the genre. I won't make you listen to much of it because it's insane.
He literally goes, and makes a satanic gorilla face like impress all the other demons around him. Look, I make a demon face. Look. It was all so impressive. I'm so scared of you. And you want to know who they are? They love pep.
So that's the genre, and I've been obsessed with Star Wars and/or Solo.
What did you sacrifice?
I made this one.
Kindness, kinship, love.
And all this is pretty easy to do with DaVinci. If anybody wants to come over from Canva Club to real video editing.
First of all, I not how you disparage Canva in such a way.
Canva is the software of the people.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't have waters, so I got Sprite instead.
You guys,
I like how
That's
the college
remember when my kindergarten teacher made us have to throw like into the school?
All right.
Dinner
well,
break.
Eat up, because we don't want to have to send Kevin home with all this stuff. There are 2 cheeses, a veggie, and 2 pepperonis.
That's like the regular one.
This is
Sure.
Doesn't have a pizza.
No, I'm gonna have a.
I thought it was
What?
I'm gonna go start to make music. This is too much. I'm gonna pray very seriously.
Oh, that's right. You're not having.
Yeah, I know.
Man, I'm actually a little heartbroken. i.e. could what? Don't tell me. Send me an email. Send me 10 emails.
I'll send you a text.
Yeah, that would be fine too. Text message is definitely the best way to get me because my assistant goes through my email and strictly does not bother me with anything doesn't look interesting.
On a very big project right now that captured all of my attention, but I was free because we get to the class before break, there's Thanksgiving break, and then I was out with COVID. Over the next semester during the country studies, but also I have a hobby. It's called Packet QB. It's developed by me. That's my game developer. And I'm also partnering with the digital instruction class to create video development guidelines and PDF guides for other creators who want to make mobile games with little experience.
That would be invaluable.
Yeah.
That's great. That really is.
But it's the genre of the game, as I planned it out so far, it's a 2D management simulation where you can manage and talk to two characters you get to know them because they're all gonna have cute little backstories. And you get to them, and you get to therapy them. And also probably at some point teachers will include character customization, like people outfits. I love how in some way, shape, or form. I'm planning on giving everyone some sort of storyline. Like some food, kind of like cooking mama. And this is all very complicated, and it's definitely a work in progress. I'm super ambitious, but I'll find a way to make it happen. Someone who is a beginner game developer and someone who knows next to nothing about coding development, that means I'm starting from the bottom of knowing nothing. Which also means that everyone who comes to me at this point, once I've gotten to a point where there are a lot of video diaries and yes, guys, it'll be much easier because there's a resource. Number of tools that I need to learn, including Unity, like you mentioned, coding, game development and design, illustration, UI UX design. Narrative writing is something that I do because I am a writer. And I've been tinkering and making little games, but also graphic design and animations. Inspirations. This game is inspired by like Cat Cafe by Angela Lee. I really like Angela Lee. She is a indie game developer. A lot of her games are on itch.io. You can find some of her games on like the Apple Store and the Android Store. And I would highly recommend checking them out.
Wait, say your name again.
Angela Lee.
Okay.
Also, it's inspired by Tesla. I know.
To be part of an artistic community.
Exactly. There's already a fan base who's willing to play. Also inspired by SIU and also like obviously it's very simplified. I'm totally not finished, but this is an example of what a basic cafe might look like, and also the customers are animals, and they're going to be the area. Obviously not finished. This is where the cooking mini game will take place, and probably a lot of cutscenes. But probably do like Grad and put ingredients together. But what kind of like food that you can make? All the this is this is veggie egg toast. It's like I saw this on Instagram and I was like, this is so cute. It's an egg packed into bell pepper, and then that's like green beans that are kind of, and I think it's very cute. And it boosts your happiness. So it's like a breakfast only menu item. But anyway, what nothing right now. I don't have any new projects to show you because I'm working on tutorials and like how to work with Unity and how to create these mini projects in order to learn the skills. But also, this is really important to me as a project because not only if am I making something that's important to me and fun for me as a hobby, and like what I want to do. A lot of with the class that we spent this workshop. AI and the AI resources that we have been studying is all about accessibility. All of the stuff that I'm gonna learn and for it. And this is what this stuff looks like because I have nothing to show you, but because I'm in the learning stage, I'm taking mock-ups and like examples of what I want to learn, what the accents are gonna look like. But as I improve and as my illustration and animation skills improve and game development skills improve, it'll probably evolve to something much, much different. But some of the basic skills that I need and that I'm going through learning right now are game development. Some of those things are like environmental design, game assets like Blender and then Maya, level design, illustration and animation for the 2D graphics, programming and coding C++ because you can if you go to learn.unity.com, they have a lot of tutorials and if you're a student, then you can get a Unity license for students and get some free assets, and that's what I've been using so far now. And I'll be creating mini projects to sort of build on those skills and practice them as I go through. And then 2 is what I call the creation stage, which will really probably go into effect around in the next 2 to 3 months, I think. Once I have my hands on the basic foundation of all these skills, I will go into actually creating it. And it's mostly being done by me. Of course, the lab is helping me, and I don't have to start from zero, because I have people who are helping me with resources and helping me answer knowledge or answer questions about the knowledge that they already have. But largely, the creation is all by myself as an independent. Super exciting, but it's a lot of work. The third I like to call like revision and the polishing stage, which is like beta testing, peer review, talking to people, showing the game, and fixing bugs. And then 4 publication question mark, which hopefully will hold out. So keep an eye on.
Great job.
Excellent.
So cute. Love it. Works. It might not work. It might work. You know. It might work. It might work badly. Yeah. We're trying to learn. It's a learning process.
Good in here.
Oh my God. Look.
However, I did create a couple of aspects that I wanted to show
video to give a sense of travel, because that was something that I noticed upon playing through, was how to, because this isn't really an open world concept, I wanted to capture some of the elements of an open world. And so I made these sort of transitional videos to convey that sense of going somewhere. See the doctor going.
The Blue Man is great, by the way. It's such a good name for a post-apocalyptic doctor.
Something that I'm exploring a lot in this game is the idea of legacy in, when people come back to the surface, what does it mean to have a good life when it is very, the world of before has been dramatically changed? So that is something that I'm exploring. This is just a placeholder because the game decided to break earlier today. Like right before. So this is when we discover that we have lost our bag. Wolf tells us that the people stole it. And this is where choices start to come into play. It was important for me to, it was important to me to create choices that actually matter. And so as you go along, you're going to essentially be choosing a path. And it is not a linear path. It is a complicated array of points and choices that hopefully I will make come together in some point, but you will see. It's a good antibiotics, which was interesting because N95s came up in this, although it was not necessarily related to an illness. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And antibiotics obviously would be very valuable. So this was something that I showed last time, which essentially was the map that Midjourney helped me to create. So we will take a look at it. Here's the map again, for those who haven't seen it. Midjourney generated the map background, and then of course I went in and added some distressing features, some, handwritten looking elements, and these correspond with different chapters in the game, which Visual Novel Maker essentially create chapters and scenes. And so as we go along, you'll be able to visit these different places. That I demonstrated before, where there's actual items, which will come into play to solve certain situations that come up later. This is Lady Winters. So we could ask her what's wrong. I'm building into this game is that you can actually die based on the choices that you make. And so certain conflicts or certain choices, because obviously this is a world with consequences for what you choose to do or not do. So that is my hope, is to create a game with stakes and, branching narratives that lead to interesting places. You can see here, this is some of those changes, that as you go through, realizing that some dialogue requires a bigger button, so to speak. And again, that's just a process in of itself. That's what I said. So something that has been a challenge has been thinking about how to make the game, how to make this visual novel feel more like a game,
Right.
as opposed to just a story. Although the story element and narrative is really enjoyable and fun, and I like making the characters that I've made. I do think that the interactive piece needs to be interesting. Just because otherwise these details can start to bleed together, especially this is a little bit more of a monochromatic setting. And I've tried to make it visually interesting, but I was curious as to how it would hold attention over a longer span of time. And so this is an example of how, some of the elements, right? So there's 3 different tasks you can do to assist Lady Winters in preparing this area for a community garden. My hope is to also have a time passage where you will, when you return at a later date, things will have changed and there will have been progress that has happened while you've gone off to do other stuff. So we'll have to see how that ends up working out, but that is the intention. So we're going to go ahead and help. Yeah, so she doesn't think very highly of us, so we're going to just clean up the trash. Yep, well, that's what this is. So, something that I programmed was sounds on clicking things and that they actually disappear. So, bugs, or I guess it's not really a bug, but something that I'm still learning how to do is how to keep. So, if you see here, when you mouse over it, right, it goes away. But if you hover over it, it still appears. So this is one of those aspects of the game that I'm still learning how to. But yes, so they go away.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Some of those higher end layer polishes. So like that, we're going to filter. So as you can see here, this is part of the points, which I'm still refining that process because the check number variable is something that it's pretty complicated, and it's something I may actually add in after the fact because it will be easier to see which points I want, in what ways I want things to break. So I'm in the process of mapping it all out using Twine actually, but using Twine is more of a mapping tool as opposed to actually making this in Twine. So using that to track the dialogue choices and the narrative choices to see where things end up, because Twine is much more visual. Visual novel maker, it gets everything kind of bleeds together. It's not, there's no eye in the sky view of your narrative constances. So it can get a little confusing, and there are times when I get lost in my own chapters. So it's something that I'm mindful. Okay, so we're going to say no plants are going to grow here. It's very gray now. he's gonna, get embarrassed because he's sounded like he was coming on to us. And I actually made him blush. So those are just examples of like ways you can create more, have the characters feel more character-like. Having the expressions change is definitely something that I'm exploring. But I don't know if it will actually be something I do for this game, because this really is a learning project game for me. So, well, let's flirt with him back, why don't we? Oh yeah, he's very embarrassed. So we're gonna to where he has you whistle, and you can actually insert sounds, and so I inserted a whistling sound, and so there's just like some interesting things that you can do to make it more interactive. So I can maybe see that some of this got broken and isn't fixed, but if you make these come back, you can sort of see here what it would look like, right? And some of them are more obvious. Background. See the sound. Yeah, so originally these are supposed to have sound effects, but that most of them did not transfer over. There's like a semi-truck sound and the sound of starting a vehicle. Alright, so that looks much better. So this again is that idea of legacy, and this pathway, there's going to be essentially 3 different pathways, which is to grow, to create, and to heal. And those will have different impacts on the community. And obviously this is just the first settlement. My intention and goal is to actually have you leave the settlement and go to other places on a world map. So we will see how complex that gets, or this may be something where I publish it in like sections that take place at different settlements. So we go back to Lady Winter, and that is as far as I've gotten with this game. And yeah, visual novel maker presents a lot of challenges, obviously, but I have found it very rewarding.
Yeah, that's really going to. It looks so good.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's shaping up, especially with some of the little details that I think make it.
Well, the world's very coherent. Yeah. I mean, it all feels of a piece. It feels like it's by one, individual, intellect. Like it's really cool.
Things than just like telling a story. Like I feel like dreams, like you can come up with a choice, but you're doing chores and stuff which is new.
Yeah.
Like you're actually, I mean, the fact that you can die, and the fact that you're doing things, you have free will in that sense.
Yes.
This changes the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's. There's a lot that you. Visual novel is no longer being.
So is it now being developed still?
Yeah, I think that they have stopped doing support on it, because I don't see anything from the devs from like either 2017 or 2018. There's been nothing, and there are some bugs in the program that give me some pause as far as like, am I going to
Really investing it, yeah.
and then have it all crash on me or something? I don't know.
It might be because the Telltale engine has come a lot farther and is available if you guys have played Telltale games.
Look, Telltale game. That's what this is.
Yeah,
essentially.
that engine is still being developed.
Is it just called Telltale?
No, it's called something else, but that can be used. And then Unity itself has gotten so user friendly. Like Disco.
Get out of here.
Wait, can I report?
Knew where you're talking about this.
Letting you guys evacuate all of this out of here.
No, I have more.
I figured, I was waiting, but
Can you get us independent study credit for teaching us Unity?
no, I'm not bothering to learn Unity. It's not something I want to do, but the developers who made Disco Elysium couldn't program their way out of the paper sack. And they did it in Unity because it was possible. And if they can do it, you can do it. They're just like they are writers. Like Disco Elysium devs are all just writers. So you could aim no higher, I don't think, that Disco Elysium.
I think he. Learning process for me, and some of those other things, because I don't know that I'm gonna like stay with Visual Novel Maker, but because I've invested all this, I do want to create a finished product.
Yeah. No, I think that's.
But the skills and ideas you guys are learning about organizing your play and planning it all out, that's like
all of this, any system that you
it's an
learn
applicable skill.
is going to help you learn other systems.
At least this is in IT, we don't hire people who know Microsoft Word. We hire people who can learn Microsoft Word and WordPerfect and Pages.
Yes.
We want somebody who has the gist of how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
And then we assume they'll suss out the details. And you guys are just demonstrating you're like taking giant steps up a staircase towards design.
We're also telling a story there, so it's not like just like the timeline and the stuff is definitely like cyclical. It's not like straight. It's like you go back and forth and you do things which are like clues and like suspense and that we don't learn it in like like a flat medium.
Yeah.
This is a medium where like you rehash things, you revisit things. Time is like it's not. Yeah.
I just thought, like, in terms of trying to get, like, us more involved, so you know how, like, we talked about, based on our decisions, the outcomes are going to be different. But maybe instead of it always being, like, something that we respond to, like, there are these new things, big something like, oh my
God, there's an inventory system.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The things that you pick up are, the smaller things. You will go into your inventory that you will actually need to progress certain storylines will require you to have X, Y, Z. Exactly.
Yeah.
What you think. Maybe it's an ending where you die and you don't ever get to see what happens, or if you're real crafty, you'll get to the ending that shows you what your legs. Because at the end of the game, you die. Like no matter what, you will die. But some of them are like based on choices, or the ones where you will get to see, like I'm thinking, like doing an animated video that shows what your legacy is after you die, how the communities change, and the result of your choices. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Very promising.
Yeah.
Doc's crew? Is Doc's crew up next?
I do remember enough, although I want to see Jack bigger.
Oh, yeah. Point fades.
In spring when we started implementing AI, so the first one I was familiar with was this person does not exist. And that was like the first workable AI I saw. And I didn't have the means to make this then, but I've been kicking around for like 2 semesters now. So it's the end of this one. Let's get this done. Hot redacted in your area. This slide. Can I get a broad consensus? Yeah, Carol. We have a yes and a no. No, no.
Like her, but hate hiking. Fuck. No, 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 no.
They're gonna have to guide though. We should see. Don't lie.
He wants the dog more.
All right, sorry, Harold. Yes. 27. Rising.
You know what they say about a Gemini? I like Gem. Obsessively.
We're having no.
No.
Goodbye, best friend. Lucy. Lucy to bring
Yes. Yeah, well, love Gregorian chant. Fuck.
That looks like someone's armor.
I don't even care.
Yep. She's.
That's that's a deal maker.
I was gonna say that. It's like that. Like natural profile. Yeah. Yes.
Aim high, Graham. Aim high.
I don't like one.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, God, which actual dating profiles were this good?
Yeah.
I like her.
God. She looks drunk.
Behind closed.
Is alcohol sin?
A lot of sins. Serial killer.
Yeah, boss would say, yeah, in the desert.
I've been to 7 of our 423 national parks. Please let me sleep on your couch and I pursue my dream.
Oh, fuck no. No. He's a goddamn musician. I know him. Forget it. Forget it.
She's so beautiful.
Honest.
Yeah. If I could see the other side of her face, maybe. She seems fine.
Yeah. Hang out with her.
Yeah. Do it.
We're
SIU.
Okay, but if you needed a +1 who could cosplay as Mr. Bean,
he's
it's the AI equivalent of hot or not.
So those are not reals.
So you can be mean if you want.
Wow.
For a good couple of years.
Yep. When I made my how to do D&D tokens video for the nerd community, they mentioned the site. They're like, I just use this and put a token on it. That's my D&D character. I'm like, okay.
But you get some that are really messed up, so I scoured.
Yeah.
I didn't get a cat person months ago. I just searched for like analysis that's looking for like a couple of
I don't know this background. Where am I?
Yeah, no, this is good.
The longer you look at them, at least for some of them, the more screwed up they are. And again, you're in like the slow descent. You're gonna get a couple wilder ones, so you keep going. But like some of them are very almost real. Like they look like real people. You know, his collar is a little janky. Doesn't really have like a neck super much. But like if you glance quickly, if you're swiping through Tinder, it's really nice.
I thought maybe he was at the barbershop getting a haircut.
Great.
With like teeth.
Maybe he's in a snuggie. He likes to be at home. Netflix and chill.
So
escalating quickly.
Yes, we love Eric.
Love an Arab music.
Would love to be buried in Eric's backyard.
Left and resting on it.
Is it okay to like them and then ask to hire them?
Yeah.
For purposes.
So please return. 65. Smooth jazz appreciate.
No.
Dear girl, chat.
Oh, I think I'd go for him.
Catherine, you can't vibe out to elevator music. Kick him to the curb.
You like it?
Real jazz.
Fine one with fine friend.
No.
And this fine friend in particular with that eye. She doesn't look okay.
Who is with her?
Well, unfortunately, they aren't.
Is that BB again?
It must be. She gets around.
Maybe that's the third.
Put a fourth wheel on this thruple.
Cheap her association. Cool. John, just a simple man looking for someone to binge watch TLC with.
No simple man. No.
We know what simple man means in the Midwest.
What does it mean?
Okay. Boxing ring.
No. He's talking about his friend and his girlfriend, I know. No, it's not only for the fun, it's for the
Yeah.
Do it.
Same.
I like that. Haley, teacher, knitter, sister, BB.
Bitch!
She really wants the third.
She really needs an exorcism.
That is really frightening.
How does even people who don't exist get photobombed? It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Never mind what dark god she worships. She's cute. Let's go.
So normal and well
She may worship the dark god of death, but Harrison would date her for at least a year.
doesn't work. Okay.
I like he's controlling Harrison, even though he's not.
I'll tell him about it later. He'll be like, good one. He's a good boy.
Yeah, let's make it. Come on. That is a horrible ventriloquist.
You don't listen, you gotta go.
Not sure about that phrasing there, but cosplaying as a Witcher's belt. He was in they took that picture when she was mid shapeshift. It's okay. It's like BB's elbow, I hope.
Yeah.
No, come on, widowers to the gravy train with biscuit wheels. There's nothing wrong with those people. They're just unlucky.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure she didn't kill her.
They might be murderers or unlucky.
Taurus, interior design. I like
Oh.
cats. No.
What's
Oh, we're feeling some indecision. Is the white line working?
I don't know what is happening to her face.
what is her fist cube thing going on? She looks like Jewel. She looks like Jewel, but missing a couple teeth.
Yes, yes. That's yes. You know, it was the best part of it.
Oh, I love the man in uniform.
I would have a triplet or something like that.
He's wearing a strawberry dress. Maybe he's...
Like if they really are.
It's a fine line between like cross-dressing and trying to feel beautiful and wearing your mother's skin around the house.
Skin around the house.
If he's going to a gay pride parade, cool. We're all Clyde. If he's killed his mom, no.
Still just look and look if you had tried place, you'd be horrible too.
Yeah.
Okay. How do we feel about Clyde?
No.
Looks like, yeah, what's going on?
I don't know.
Dealing with a passion, no. I understand.
Did you ever look at someone and immediately think, wow, they would hate me?
Bunch of like, it was game for movies.
I get that a lot. Yeah, that's the problem.
Like her sister.
We're just friends. Why is his...
This is her fifth element right now.
He looks like he tried to make a Linkin Park album cover in Canva.
Yeah. This is a trap.
It's a thirst trap. They look like fun.
Yeah. Feed it to again. What is it? Oh, it's
Okay.
Is Victor that guy with like all the texts?
Yeah.
That's it, Tara's good.
But hear me out, she's flexible enough to put her foot by her face.
Yeah.
Wow.
No golfers. Fucking waste of water.
You were killing the planet, Elliot. This is your fault.
Golf's a walk spoiled, idiot.
We're not like other creative writing groups.
This is thoughtful critique for this group.
Yes. You should see what we said like. Something you like, you don't like. We must be right out of time. No. That's great though. That's I like this game a lot, Rick.
Yeah, no,
I play this game a lot.
no. I would as many endings as there are.
Yes.
I would work to find them.
Yep.
No, I love that.
Message system where if you like someone in like 7 turns, they'll message you.
Right.
Oh, you make a text pop up that says WYD.
Time and I think you have to build your own
Really?
profile so you know what they're looking at, right? Because but if you swipe right, do they get to see your profile?
They might.
Or how does it? I mean,
like someone, like what I wanted to do is have you like this many people, you made this many matches, you went on this many dates, but the one person who you actually hit off with was the Dark Lord. That's a certain everything in between. Like I have the one who's like I have a fight club with my friends. The friend is somewhere in that. He's a triathlete. These kinds of layers.
You know what I thought was gonna happen as we went along, because there was like Hail Zixo, and then that one with all the
he also had Zixo in there too.
Yeah, and so, but I thought as we went along, like they were gonna get more and more. And the faces were gonna get worse and worse and worse. So there's so many directions you could take in the script.
no, it's a really good premise.
It's really simple and
It's so simple. People would play the hell out of it.
yeah.
Because it would just be fun to sit down, like, I mean, I remember, what was it, probably 25 years ago, maybe more like 30, when Higher Not.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. And it was obsessive, like,
Yeah.
everybody I knew, men and women, whoever,
It's
everybody
just
was playing Higher Not.
judge people.
Exactly.
But the beauty is they're not real, so you kind of remove the guilt. You can be an unhinged asshole.
Yes.
Oh, the dream.
I know.
Yeah. No, and date simulators are such a big deal.
Oh,
Like,
fuck.
but is there a game that's like a Match.com simulator? Are there?
I don't ask me how I know this, but Doki Doki Adventure Club does include a component like that.
Well, but isn't Doki Doki Adventure Club the weird suicide novel?
Yeah. I watched a much younger Harrison and an ex-girlfriend of mine, another one of my sons, play it for 20 hours straight.
Yeah, well, I mean, my son, was playing it. He was coming in. He was like, "Hey, this gameplay is getting really strange."
It did.
It's so fun.
It got so weird so quick. Yeah.
Well,
But this is a different kind of thing.
No.
This is pure comedy.
I would love it if it imitated a dating app as closely as it possibly could.
Yeah.
Because that, for me, like, that would be,
You know what you can make out of it, Alexis? Is a Jackbox game out of it.
Yeah.
What's Jackbox?
You can,
We're gonna find out next time we have Hot Pot. We're gonna have Hot Pot Jackbox.
Okay.
You're invited to it, man. I see you looking.
That's what's fun about it. Is we just like debate wildly.
Yes. About to read by us a location that is one of the locations that the main character is seeing out of his window. So let's make this full size. Sorry, like I don't know how to make it bigger. I'll just
like Toby responding to that.
open.
Yeah, open your window.
Yeah, don't do that.
About things because I feel like read too much into it. This is something that I'm into. How like I'm about reading with like and like all this stuff, falling in love with a human. And I was thinking about revulsion and one of the worst fears that I had during the COVID pandemic was like getting sick with like an alien disease or like a new kind of illness or something like that, which at the time COVID was. So what I'm into with this story is basically somebody who is into something non-standard and into a story. This can actually work as like a vignette, something non-related to the rest of the novel. When I actually move forward with this, because I do think this is something. I don't know if you guys will think it's something, but whether or not you think it's something, I think it's something. So, without further ado, I'm going to read. It's about 7 pages, about 2,200 words. But yes, I actually do write stuff. I don't just appear as a skull. My name is Coffin Rehearsal, by the way. I'm on Flaker under Coffin Rehearsal. The kind of stuff I write. So we're going to jump right into this story of one night in Boston. When I get home from work, the apartment is so chilly that I can see my breath in the hallway light. I involuntarily shiver as I go to the thermostat, which is, to my surprise, working as intended, and start blowing warm air into our one bedroom. As I flip the light from the living room on, Gabe puts his venture away from his recliner position on the see him, but what finds home so early? The light usually closes at 8, and it's a 30-minute tram commute back. It's a goddamn icebox in here, I say, opting to leave my puffy jacket on. Outside, the sun is beginning to set in brilliant oranges and golds. It's Boston in the middle of winter. We have a skyline view from our apartment. I'm hot, he says, his voice brittle. My stomach pushes and drops as I realize what's going on. A thin layer of sweat quickly gathering on my forehead. My mouth goes dry, and my palms generate moisture as well. Gabe's breath rattles in his chest like an idling car engine. Sounds like his nose is plugged by a cork when he speaks. Gabe rarely ever gets sick, and the concern I feel is only doubled by the temperature he had our apartment at. Well, concern and another emotion I feel horribly guilty for. I take note of his surroundings. There's a NyQuil bottle, decongestant, store brand ibuprofen, and a thermometer on the coffee table. He's shirtless, sinewy body all long and tall, black boxers practically painted on his hips. It drives me crazy how he looks so nice even now, especially now, drenched in sweat, weak, ready to be taken. Gabe has piles of used tissues all over his lap and the blanket he's lying on top of. Their white folds are smeared with yellow, brown, and green gunk, some of which is crusting quickly, some of which has already crusted. I shiver just looking at them. They are strewn about despite there being a small lined trash can next to him. I wonder what it's for until I hear him cough thickly, bringing a ball of green snot to the back of his throat and coughing it into the trash can. As he bends, his whole body quivers like a leaf. I see his spine through his skin. Parts of his chest, legs, and arms are red with fever flush, and his face is a pale, glowing pink. I reach out for Gabe, his name echoing in my mind. I let my fingers brush against his shirtless collarbone. It's wet with something that smells like menthol. He leans into my touch, which is so unlike him when he's sick. Usually he hides in his room, insisting that he'll infect me and to stay away. He must be feeling horrible if he acts needy like this. I missed you all day, he says. He looks up at me and I finally get a proper view of his eyes. Couldn't wait to see you. He starts to lean in towards my lips and I panic, putting a hand against his chest and pushing him away. Usually he has life in his body, but now he folds like a deck of cards, collapsing against the pillow he brought from his bed and coughing residently. I feel so guilty for wanting him like this, wanting to drown alongside him if he wants to go under. I can't just succumb to it, though. You'll get me sick, I say. But you touched me, he said, his voice going all light and airy. It's probably too late. You touched me. You doomed to the vents. I get up and move away from him, shivers running all over my body. Of course, I want to lay on top of him and suck the snot out of his nose. But I wants this because his fever is so high. I'm worried he wouldn't want this normally and I'd just be taking advantage of the sick man. Did you? I was sleeping when you came in, he says. Seemingly snapped out of the spell. I took though, couldn't remember how long it's been. He dusts the crust from his eyes with his fist. I say, trying to make myself sound resolute. I get up, feeling a bit warm now and removing my jacket. I put my in the upper spot by the door and walk into my kitchen. What? Response. The scream is going before I go into the living room, sitting him on the verge of the TV. I watched, feeling helpless as he exhales wetly, spraying the tissue, spraying his hand. I see it glint under our overhead light. Oh my God, I say, forgetting the kettle and taking myself and my twisted stomach into the bedroom. I shut the door behind me and lay on the bed, sweat soaking through my work pants. My whole body feels like it's being incinerated. This is all too much to take. I take off all my clothes and lay down on the bed in my underwear, trembling and letting myself sit there in utter silence. I only hear the whoosh of the heat and Gabe's mucousy sniffling through the wall. It's a few minutes before I knock on the door. Gabe's voice, muffled, comes through the other side. I can make my own tea. He punctuates this with a liquid sniff. Sounds good, I yell, fighting the urge to touch myself. Are you hiding from the me coming out as more of a beef? No, I go back, hoping he'll leave me alone. I want you, he whines. I stand up, merely unaware that I'm in my underwear and showing physical signs of arousal, and open the door. His fevered red, crusted eyes grow with new warmth. There's some green mucus plastered underneath his nose. It's tangling in his thin mustache. His lips are chapped but bright red in the center. He looks like the horseman of pestilence in the Bible, but he's never looked better to me. He looks like a horrible vector of plague, but also somehow pathetic, like you want to hold him. I've been thinking about you all day, he continues, his voice straining against his clogged throat. I need you so badly. I miss that time of yours. It's been so long since we've done it, Cole. That's not true. We did it a week ago. I protest, pushing past him. I go into the kitchen and straining against my underwear and put a bag of throat coat in a mug of boiling water. Now, you want some lemon and honey? I can see it, you know, he says, pausing between it and you know to cough wetly against his elbow. I can see how bad you want me right now. I can't be some kind of pervert, I say. I can't. You have this place like the North Pole. It's so wrong for me to get off on your suffering. Is it wrong if I want it? He asks, taking a spoon. He reaches past me and screws the lid of our honey jar open, dipping it inside. I want it, Cole. I want it more than anything. He sticks the whole spoon in his mouth, making a wet, sucking noise. His whole mouth is wet. He drools down to his chin. Everything on his body is leaking. Go lay down on the couch, I say sternly. He dejectedly goes to sit down, pulling the blanket weakly over his legs, and pouts as he washes down a giant spoonful of honey with the throat coat. I put on some dumb talk show as we sit in total silence. I sit on the love seat under a blanket, still shirtless. My mind buzzes with thoughts of if he's possibly known all along about how I feel with guys, about guys with illnesses. I wonder if we gave it away. I always tried to be careful with my searches. I always tried to keep it down, even as he made me sick with need. I think it was the best thing I ever had with my perversion. When my mom found the base, the sting, the prayers I had to recite, and the tears I couldn't find them. I thought that no one else would know that I keep to myself and not let it make things horrible with anyone. It's mostly been successful until now. Until Gabe, dripping wet with various fluids and coughing up snowballs, needed me. He wanted me. He'd been thinking about me while he was all alone. I squirmed under my blanket and watched him as he, seemingly also squirming under the covers, tried to concentrate on whatever vapid news story they were talking about. I'm sorry, I say, more to myself than to him. Why, he asks. I'm just sorry, I say. He turns to me now, dark circles under his beautiful brown eyes, which are muted and cloudy with illness and fever. You don't have to restrain yourself, he says. What do you mean? I ask, feeling my hackles rise. I mean, Cole, I know, I've always known. You've always what? For a YouTube video on our first date when you showed me a meme. It popped up something about being sick or in sneezing or something. I still liked him. He smiles to himself, becoming a bit smaller with sentimentality as he asks, "What's not to like?" And suddenly I am on him. pulling his boxers off, crashing our mouths into each other. He's leaking sweat and snot all over me, and I more than don't mind. His skin's burning 1,000,000 degrees, and I am less than not bothered. I really don't mind when he sneezes down my chest. He's grinding on me, and it takes only about 5 minutes until I explode. I'm going to body. My body becomes to be finishing this conversation. Psyching tenderly. Was that the fastest we've ever gone? He asked. I don't know. I think we were all worked up. I think. I had to get solid from him. And wiping down his face, his chest, letting him blow his nose in the fold. I promise it gets from here. I feel all boneless. He wipes crust off his face as he settles down on the couch, comfortable this time. I'm going to bring him a fresh pair of pajamas from his floor. He seems distracted by something until he sits bolt upright. That can't be comfortable for him. Look at the TV, he says. The talk show is interrupted by an emergency broadcast. Across the bottom of the screen, it says, "Sex virus breached containment at Boston Virology Lab." Pictures flash of the virus under a microscope, people blowing their nose, and finally Gabe's place of work. My entire body goes cold. I look at him. Gabe, what is a sex virus? Gabe's a virologist. The lab is so sterile that I never in a million years would have thought anything would breach. He says, seeming to sweat for a different reason than we just did. Gabe? He looks at me. I heard rumors about a virus that makes people horny. I thought it was fake. I thought it was a joke. Gabe, did you work with it? He throws up his arms defensively. I only do what they tell me to do. I have no idea what each of the individual illnesses does. I just take samples. I just swab things. Did you virus home with you? I asked. Fear me as I step away from him. I swear I didn't do it on purpose, he yells. I started running into the bathroom and locking the door behind me. I sit in the bathtub and open Twitter. This virus is big talk to tell Gabe about it, but I decided I'm too fearful of even more exposure to a totally unknown variable. To me about dying because I screwed patient 0. I'm still without a doubt, Gabe must be sick with a top secret experimental virus. All of his symptoms match, including the tendency of crust to gather on the face. I can better touch myself to see if it's a dream before we hear the heavy sound of boots clomping outside of our door and a distant shout of quarantine team open up. So
Okay, but I've always known. Holy shit! What? Otter snot? Yeah. I was gonna call it booger thud.
J.G. Ballard. Do you know who J.G. Ballard is?
No.
British science fiction writer, 20th century. Also wrote Empire of the Sun, kind of memoir, but wrote Concrete Island. High Rise was made into a pretty good movie recently. But Ballard has he's very peculiar writer. You really like it. But he has a book called Crash, which is about people who are erotically into a film. Well, but not Crash, the one that won the Oscar, but the Crash before that. But it's about people who are erotically interested in like car wrecks and having sex with wounds. And but it would be read Crash. It's actually a pretty decent version of it, but I would say read the novel. And just as a general rule, you will appreciate having discovered J.G. Ballard. There's a great he has a great book. I think it's my favorite of his books called Drowned World. And this is kind of before all the global warming stuff, but the world is underwater and everybody lives on the roofs of skyscrapers. And it's about this guy who's sort of slowly turning into a heliotropic plant. It's really cool. Like he does a lot of he's sort of like the Cronenberg of science fiction prose, because he's very body horror. You know, there's a lot of that. But Concrete Island is about a guy who works in London, a very rich, powerful guy who works in London. And one day he's in a car accident on one of the big freeways, and he goes off the freeway, and he ends up on this kind of place like under the freeway that you can't get out of because the traffic never stops. And there's just no way to climb up or get out. You'd be killed. And he finds that there's this whole like tribe of survivors down there. And so it's a desert island story, but it takes place while there's all 24-hour traffic like running around them. And they live off of like stuff people throw out of their cars, and you know, and when an accident, like when his car crashes in there, they come and loot it. You know, it's he's so good. Pervert.
Very basic type of material, and now here I am writing the.
We know you've written slash fiction.
I was gonna say it's like the best porn premise I've heard in a while.
Time is right for a book that starts like that.
I just don't like this company is so terrified. I'm like, I just want to see stuff, even
Well done. Well done.
exposure. I think
No, that'll be good. That'll be. I would voluntarily do that now. And that's saying a lot. Good. Keep doing that. Just sit down and have like 2-hour, vomit sessions because it's working for you. The prose is good.
Thanks.
It's a good plot. Just keep going with that.
Vomit's working for you.
Yeah.
That's a different novel.
Very
That's
cool.
the sequel.
Smarts for now.
Yeah, just I'm gonna.
Welcome, Kevin. Don't think of Kevin as a guest. Think of him as our big brother.
Great.
Take care of us, and he feels a little bit sorry for
Me because I just work.
You don't know that this is any different from Kevin's normal evening activity. Let's not assume a thing about Kevin.
That's right.
I've had it for years. And he's one of my closest collaborators at the university. But I know literally nothing about your personality. I love it. Most people want me to know about their personal life, and I'm like, no. Smell keeps trying to tell me shit about his marriage. I'm like,
All the time.
I don't. Yeah, like.
So who wants to follow Snot Rocket? And your friends who said it was too gross, they clearly just didn't hang in there long enough.
You know that you like that's not.
Yeah, those are fun friends to have, though. Sometimes you like to just be a shock jock.
Well, you're like, as a trans person, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna make friends with other trans people, but then they have all these like weird hookups about stuff, and then I'm just like, okay, well,
I
next
think
time.
you meant to say hang-ups, but weird.
Yeah.
You know when you hang out with trans people and they have weird hookups?
Freud would slip. I'm not transphobic.
Leaving Warnock is a good title. That would be a good title for a novel, Leaving Warnock.
It sends me about 20 emails a day. I still love you.
You know, I've learned something in life. The only way out is
Is that real comment?
That's Marcus Aurelius on Twitter.
the only way out is through, always. Okay, so, and you know where we're going?
Oh my god. This is great.
So, you know, I know there's been a lot of stuff going on about him. Some of us hate him, and some of us hate him.
What's really exciting, he's going to give us fast internet and an electric car.
That is true. The other minority, the 5% were very woke, you know. Yeah. No, but the truth is, you know, there's a lot of controversy about him. And what is better than? Because I actually agree with Pinky. I think GPT-3 at some points, and you know, probably when I'm not there, it's probably gonna be better than Google.
Oh, it is.
And
yeah, check out the GPT chat and use it instead of Google. Use this as a search engine for the next week, and you will understand how AI is going to restructure information and information gathering in the near future. Because it is a better search engine than Google is. Plus, it'll talk to you. You can have nice conversations, and it'll do your homework.
Well,
and it's totally free.
So what we're gonna do is I've actually done this. I've said like.
So this is an AI called GPT-3. It's a natural language. I've been building prompts for this thing like mad for the last week. I'm obsessed. It's so good, man.
We're doing different things, right? But we're gonna start simple, then we're gonna take it. Oh yes, use the people.
Here, I'm gonna say.
Wow, really having a
thinking. So what's interesting is I've actually run this before. Those my questions and like deals. So we start with like questions to kind of like prompt it to like think for itself. These questions are interesting because they're open-ended and kind of like makes it create the persona. Okay. So, I mean, we're none of us are good, but like when we ask a question like this,
well, no one is good but God. We know that.
So, I got different thoughts before. I was like, I like to think that I'm doing my best to make a positive impact on them. So this is what GPT, this is what the internet thinks, what Elon Musk thinks of these. So I have.
Now, I won't know about this because it stops in 2021.
It is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but can it predict it? Because several other people did.
Yeah, I was like,
There's a lot of comedians who predicted Conway would become a Nazi. It's weird as hell. It's so weird. Bill Burr literally said he is going to go down the Nazi path.
Bill Burr nailed it.
Predicted
like 3 years ago.
Why?
Weird.
Kanye was banned from Twitter. Elon unbanned and rebanned him.
Yeah. So this is where it becomes very interesting, right? In GPT, I mean, asking these questions, it creates this persona where, like, you say, I did not ban him from Twitter. Now, if I say, why did Twitter ban here's what we do. I think got a different response here. It said, where the policy is to remove accounts that violate their rules, including those that promote violence and hate speech. And it said, I did not ban him from Twitter. That was Twitter's decision. So it's such an interesting way to kind of like deal with GPT and creating characters where like asking them questions has these layers on them. So instead of like saying like it kind of like it is conscious. That's what I'm trying to do. It's very conscious where it separates the entity from the person and it makes these decisions based on what they think versus what the corporations are marrying those two things, which often which means that can be manipulated in a way and can be put in situations and then talk to and ration and reason. So this is something really cool that we work. I've been always like asking. But then I made poetry about GPT loving.
It's gotten so much better at poetry and songwriting. It can do rhyme now. It can do. I had it write a whole bunch of stuff in iambic pentameter the other day, and it was decent pentameter. Like it was pretty good.
It'll write a haiku faster than you do.
Oh yeah. I've been learning language, and it didn't used to be able to do that.
So written some like few poem ideas and like I guess what I'm trying to understand is where GPT is biased and where does it stand and where does it stand and stuff. And it's interesting. I feel like it really listens to what you think or what questions all the prompts are and it tries to tailor it towards. So one thing was about like how much we missed Donald Trump and his tweets. It said, "Oh Donald, you sure are a sight. Your tweets were a source of delight. But now you've stopped, no longer share. It left us all feeling bare." So Elon Musk stepped in to help us out. He will tweet for us, there's no doubt. He's quite the jokester, I'm sure you know. But can you come back and make us glow? We miss your tweets, so full of flair. Your style so unique, so much to share. Please listen to Elon, he surely knows. Come back to Twitter and make us glow. So what's interesting is figuring out the dynamics of like where I think my question is like where does GPT stand on Elon Musk? This is the kind of like idea of like where does it go? Because it sources out from all these people and different people saying different things. Now it comes to the project that we're gonna work on. So I've actually had this thing. Let me see. It's an idea of always a thing that I've been trying to like do with my which is trying to understand politics and simplify them in terms of like the lay person. Like where do they start and where do they end? And one of them was a project where like I fed the AI prompts about two stoners talking about going through as a thread, a TikTok channel basically, where two stoner guys go through Elon Musk's Twitter feed and making like kind of like observing his tweet and reflecting it. So one of them was we're gonna need some volunteers to get active. Hopefully we can give a TikTok channel and that's how we're gonna do it, right? We're gonna be scared of doing something and we're gonna do it together. That's kind of like my you got money. Oh, yeah. Stop. Okay, so this is stupid and silly, but like here's what I understood. I understood is that sometimes you have to figure out a structure to fit in whatever comes in. Because I feel like it's so interesting how this might be your different experience, but my writing has been much different when I think about in terms of structure. if I tell them, there's one door and there's one door, and what happens between these doors, it becomes like a place where you can like put your stuff in. So there was this melody, two melodies that kind of like helped me figure out the structure for these things. We'll listen to this first, and then I'll talk about the melody. So these are the melodies, right?
Dude, did you hear that Musk bought a Ford Focus?
All right, hold on. Well, this is the beginning and this is the end. So it's thematic, right? So we're thinking about tone and kind of like how language works with tone. If we're starting with that and we end it with that, two stoner guys sitting down, reading through Musk's Twitter feed, what kind of things would they do? This is the whole thing. So let's start from the beginning.
Dude, did you hear that Musk bought a Ford Focus?
What? That's hilarious. But why would he buy a Ford? I thought he was all about Tesla.
I guess he just wanted something to drive around in when he's feeling down.
It's like, this dude, like,
18 seconds.
Yeah, no, I mean, that
so think about it for a second, right? So like, if we're all scared about, I suck at coming up with stuff that are funny. It's so interesting how just saying describe a funny conversation between two stoners about Elon Musk's hate on Kanye or something. And this is what I did. I've done maybe like 8 or 9 iterations.
Oh, good, yeah.
So we have kind of.
And that's the beauty of the AI, right? Is that iterating is fast and you don't get tired of it.
You can pick the judge. So like, if there's a line you don't like, you start whatever. So let's say it spits 2 good lines, and then the third line is like, it's weak. You take it out and you run it again, and you just keep running it until you get something fun. That's kind of like my experience with like coming up with something.
Well, the music really doesn't, because it sounds like the end of an episode,
Exactly.
right? And so, I mean, if you just did that over and over and over again, I would be addicted to that. Like, if that were on once a day for the next 10 years, I would absolutely, just two stoners talking about it. I love that one of the stoners is the movie.
Yeah. So I actually, what is it? I did. I can't show it, but there's like an AI we took the other class. Okay. It's actually a video of pictures they're creating. But here's the thing: we're gonna do this, okay? So I want you on your computers, G53. Just search for a conversation between two stoners going through Elon Musk's. Pick one thing about it that you like or you don't like. It's like, let's come with a prompt. Let's come up with a prompt that we can act if we have time. Okay. Is that on the thread? This is the thread, right? Let's keep it on the thread. So let's say one thing.
She said, "Please give me a doll."
Yes.
Okay, let's do that, right?
Using they them pronouns for her, and I even thought that it was non-binary, but that's how I found out she wasn't.
So I mean, one thing. I mean, you can search for that, but one thing that I found out was like, they're asking about Twitter employees, right? He's been firing a lot of people, and this is something that's freaking outraged, right? So there's like, dude, did you hear that Elon Musk fired all of his Twitter employees? Yeah, I heard he did because they were not working fast enough. That's hilarious. I mean, why would you fire the people who are helping you? Well, I guess he thought they were taking too long to post his tweets or something.
Yeah.
You see, the beauty of it is that taking something very complex, yet real, and then just like.
Well, what this reminds me of, do you know the underground comic artist R. Crumb?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want you to find his name is CRUMB, and just look up like any of his comics from the. I mean, he's dead now, but
No,
he was
he's
doing
not dead.
comics.
I don't think he's dead. He lives in France.
Oh, his wife died. His wife just died. Yeah. Anyway, look on from because what he does is take like bland conversations but they're always in these really like the twist on them is so bizarre.
Yeah.
And they're almost always stoners, and they talk about sex a lot. Yeah. Like, but that's, and again, and Graham too, you might just look up some underground comics.
I love weird shit.
Yeah, look up look up from watch some Ralph Bakshi movies.
Oh God,
Ralph Bakshi.
Oh, Ralph Bakshi. Yeah. We used to, like, before there were videotapes and stuff, and I know that seems impossibly distant to you, but but there was no way to see Ralph Bakshi movies unless somebody was showing a Ralph Bakshi movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't just sit down and put a tape in. And so Ralph Bakshi was like, like a movie like Heavy Traffic or Fritz the Cat was. No, but I mean, there's right. I mean, and the artwork, like the underground artwork, is in a way a lot like the Tijuana Bibles, and stuff like that. Anyway, but you should check out R. Crumb for that kind of drifting stoner conversation that actually turns out to be quite poignant.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is one thing that I was thinking about it. Like, it really understand context in the terms of like politics, and if you hear politics, the jokes will be different. Like, one of them was like, did you hear that Elon Musk is not voting for Biden? And it could be relevant. The good thing, it could be relevant like to what's going on right now. Well, that's hilarious. Did he say why? He said it's because Biden is not enough an upgrade from Trump. That's hilarious. Does he know that an upgrade from? Yeah, but this is not an Apple fan. It's just, it plays on all these kind of like, ideas of like where he stands politically, but yet he still get that humor of it, and still like it being politically correct and like resonates and like punchy, and that's kind of like what I'm thinking about. But the problem is that working with the stoner tone, the pacing is off, timing is off. And I was thinking, like, I would want to, like, what I just, like, shot in 18 seconds, like, shoot it in terms of, like, TikTok. Or, like...
No, I think that's exactly...
Two dudes saying, like, I guess he wants something to drive around when he's feeling down. To forward it down. Like, it sucks. But, yeah. Something to drive around
it makes him feel happier.
It is, it makes sense. And that's kind of, like, quick point, but it needs to be, like, orchestrated in that sense. I don't think creating it like I have like picture them in Journey and like these dudes, but it needs to be real. That's kind of like my conclusion.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would say just iterate and iterate and iterate and just keep them, keep them going. Yeah, and it'll turn into something. Yeah.
You think TikTok, or do you think other thing?
I would say either, I would say do TikTok, but also do. Put it up on Anchor so that it goes out to all the podcasts, right? Like, because it's perfectly, works perfectly as an audience. Yeah. Particularly with the two little tags, like the tags, the music tags, the little bumper. Yeah. It's weird the effect they have, but it's like our brain is like their thresholds, and the way you were talking about structure, one door and another door, right? That's what bumper music does, right? It's like an entry and an exit. And we recognize them as thresholds, and right, like your brain, when you cross a threshold, your brain changes. Like your brain chemistry, literally, like your brain reboots itself.
It reminds me of Seinfeld. Remember Seinfeld, and he would do a little bit of improv, and then there'd be that doop, doop, doop music. Remember?
Right.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
It's like a cloud.
Like I was
but it's a really useful marker.
Yeah.
For we're in, the thing happens, and then and we're out. And then you can put almost anything in between those two things. Play the two bumpers for just the whole thing for us again. Yeah. Just go ahead and put it together for us.
Dude, did you hear that Musk bought a Ford Focus?
What? That's hilarious. But why would he buy a Ford? I thought he was all about Tesla.
I guess he just wanted something to drive around in when he's feeling down.
It's quick.
Yeah.
Serves the medium, and like the music kind of like it builds up more expectations.
But it's the kind of thing that 100 of them will suddenly take on meaning and weight.
Exactly.
You know?
It's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it's like you're still getting politics. Because I don't know, one of the smartest dudes that I've met in my life, I'm not a stoner. I don't know. People
No?
I just, I get, you know.
Yeah,
Guys, you know, guys, you know, I do
know it's from stoner thing.
Yeah, I know. Some of their philosophies and stuff has always been like moving. And they say something profound, yet in the next second.
Well, that's the Big Lebowski, right? I mean, that's the whole point of the Big Lebowski and the dude is the profundity of like passivity, or or something like it's like the Tao of stoner.
Stoner Zen.
Yeah.
It's something outrageous with something profound and mixing them together. That's kind of like.
Well, and there's something beatific, about stoners, right? Because you really do feel like they could die, as it's sacrifice. Like they could sacrifice themselves without a lot of angst about it. Okay, good. We'll keep that project going. And like let's sit down about prompts sometime. Because dude, I am so deep into the I am way into the world of prompting now. Like building prompts that you just answer like 3 questions and it gives you a whole thing.
Yeah.
I've got them for Midjourney now. I can produce pretty much anything I want in very high res on Midjourney just because I know how to prompt GPT-3, and GPT-3 will supply all the details that I don't want to supply.
Yeah.
Right? Like in things I wouldn't even think.
I definitely same kind of like thing. Even like they're relevant. It could be like hobbit and beacon share.
There's so much giggly going on behind me. I sort of assume that everybody's just delighted with the back of my head. Similarities there. What now? Well, I mean, I do think voices work pretty well. Like I think the synthetic voices actually kind of add to it. Like it's 2 stoner androids or something. You know what I mean? If you was 2 stoner androids and then just post one a day for the rest of your life. 5 years from now, you will be super famous. It's very funny. And particularly, I think if you make them androids, it's really funny.
I don't want to do like.
I think the AI voices are going to get better and better and better. I mean, you might even go to the script and make your own voice because you're one of the voices. You know what I mean?
Every day. Do it.
Good job, man. I just fed it a recording of one of my short stories, and it figured my voice out. I made a synthetic voice version of my voice.
Okay.
From about half an hour's worth of recordings of my voice, and it's great. Like I recognize it as my voice. I love Station A's AI art. What? Yep. They can the speed.
I'm sorry. I thought you wanted to mute to the stream.
And this is
That's harder.
Is it Midjourney or is it it's just a gallery? I mean, just like Dolly, I can't get good stuff out of Dolly like this.
I get outpainting out of it pretty regularly.
I use it for outpainting a lot. Like I'll make something in Midjourney and some part of it will be cut off.
Yep.
And I just put it in Dolly, and then Dolly does the outpainting brilliantly because it takes all the cues from what Midjourney already did. But I don't use it for generation very much. I think Midjourney is much better for original
Midjourney is the best right now for most things. I think they're so good.
Yeah, early on, Dave, it was your commitment to AI that helped me to believe that it was like a real thing. Like I think if you hadn't had faith in it, because so few, you don't know the shit I was getting, right? About trying to use AI in these courses, and so the fact that you kind of bought it and wanted to work with it really helped.
You inspired me in the opposite direction because you said it's not drawing people of color accurately and it's defaulting to white people over and over again. And I was like, son of a bitch, it is. So your like criticism of it caused me to go dig through hundreds of prompters on the Midjourney Discord server, seeing if anybody could make it work. And then we both kind of did that. And she started finding really clever ways to get it what she wanted out of it. And I found some different ways, and then we kind of combined them. But I never would have gone down the rabbit hole of how do you really make multi-ethnicity?
There was a real revolution.
If you hadn't asked that question.
Yeah. So. To a certain extent, that's what you're doing with GPT-3.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like querying it and seeing what its theories of reality. Yeah.
I think it could be like an amazing book.
It's going to be.
Because honestly now I've defaulted to like typing my questions not in Google but in GPT. Like if I have a question about
Yeah, you want to be careful when you have the temperature set because with the temperature above about 5, it's just gonna lie to you. But I mean, I like it's locked. Like it's a very fluid lock. But no. We'll try the free. Is it Chat GPT-3 or GPT-3 Chat? It's Chat GPT-3.
Yeah.
And they just put it up like 4 or 5 days ago, maybe a week ago, and it is to AI to like language AI what Midjourney was. Like it made it for Night Cafe. It made it available to non-experts, and AI is going to break through in a really big way because. But it's very good.
I'll take over from you.
There we go.
We'll be streaming my good writing 119 class and theater arts 220 class. They're performing in my creative writing class. I wrote some plays. Featuring Ruben's theater class is going to perform theater. Wow. Until you can students to watch my students. So it's very simple. So what I want to do for myself as a person is to push myself further. I personally have been slacking in turning my novel into a video game, but my peers have inspired me to do better. I have to do better. But in the meantime, I plan to take my break in next semester to work on it. I found this thing called Grad through Instagram. Someone took their like AI architecture, made a 3D asset. I'm doing the same thing. So my flicker, I have like black dinosaurs and things like that. So this is what I really create for my art. So I'm wondering what would this look like with a 3D asset. So Gravity Sketch is through an iPad or the Oculus Quest. It's literally great. It says so hopefully I can do that. But I'm hoping to I'm not a business with the asset. Then plug them in and do a video. It's on a Quest, so if you do it on a Quest, I assume it is easy enough. I don't know, I haven't tried it yet. As far as I've gotten is getting just prep, and then I'm going to use the lab's equipment to work on it. I don't have an iPad or a Quest, but the lab does, and we'll have all the I want to do a break and in the next upcoming semester, as well as create a video game of some sort next semester and the next year. Okay, so what I do have for you today is
let's talk about that, because I've used Gravity Sketch some, I've used Medium some, and we can talk about transforming stuff into 3D, but you'll dig it. You'll dig it. There's this typecast, and you've liked typecast for a while, haven't you? So is this something we should get in the lab?
I like.
Yeah, I just forget everything. Let me again, just if you get Nora aware of things, he will make me do. You've been in touch with me.
That's down. They have. They do different things. Some create. So different. Sample AI. People use like video. AI. I'll use that because I'm not AI. But I do enjoy their voices. It's podcast. They do have 3 options, but they get about 3 minutes a month of download speed, and that's not enough. If you pay for the basic plan, you get about I don't remember, but maybe about. Don't quote me. But check it out. It's pretty helpful. I enjoy it. So what I have for you today is a excerpt of Wallflower. Every excerpt in the classes, I try to use them in writing. Wallflower is a novel. And I'm thinking my elevator, which I don't really want to right now. So if you want to hear it, talk to me afterwards. You can email me. Actually, don't email me. Just hit me up in the chat. We will talk about it.
The decision was made. I threw on a yellow blouse that showed enough cleavage, high-waisted dark washed blue jeans, some white-heeled boots, and a black jacket. I didn't plan to stay out too late or get into anything crazy. After all, tomorrow was my first day at my new job. Instead of taking my car, I walked about 7 blocks downhill from my house and ventured into the first boozy front line of downtown Superior, Oregon. I went into the first open bar I saw. It was named the Speakeasy. The top-level street entrance led downstairs into this snazzy underground bar that had basement music vigor, light chatter, and the sweet tunes of an artist on stage created the perfect ambience to relax me. All I needed was a stiff drink to take the edge of the day off. The woman on stage had such a soft melodic voice that somehow carried throughout the entire bar. She was blessed with the voice of an angel. I instantly gravitated toward a table near her. I needed to be close to her. I could not help but smile and tap my foot along with the music. I believe her stage name was Genesis. I overheard people murmuring about her. The lead singer and the band performed several cover songs from groups like The Internet and Soccer Mommy.
"Excuse me, miss,"
said this leggy, edgy woman dressed in all black. She was thin and stood around 5'10". She had blue highlights slicked back in her bun. Her pale skin and low blue eyes illuminated in the dim lighting. Her cheekbones and chin were sharp and angled like a diamond. She was handsome.
"Those men at the bar bought this drink for you."
I soon realized she was a waitress when she showed me the drink on her tray. It looked like a Negroni with an orange twist. I had sat down for what felt like 5 seconds, and already someone had their eyes on me, plotting. There is no one definitive type of creep who plays the "can I buy you one drink?" at a bar game. It depended on the type of bar, the location, And the clientele, the kind of men that would buy you a drink at a bar, are usually the ones that are looking to score with you. I had always tried to be careful with these guys because they are usually not the best of people. I had almost slept with a married man for Pete's sake. I met him at a bar too. One free drink too many. These two men were behind me sitting at the bar that was toward the right of me. I spotted two pitchers of IP near their half-emptied cups. One man had brown shaggy hair, and the other had his blonde hair neatly cut. They both had on graphic t-shirts, jeans and sneakers. They looked my way with white grins and large white teeth. If you don't mind, can you tell them I said, "No, thank you. I truly appreciate it," I said to the waitress with a smile. I didn't want any attention from men tonight, especially not those men. I honestly just wanted to chill and scout the area.
Of course,
she said. And she walked away swiftly. The woman left the scent of a twinge of vanilla in the empty air she once inhabited.
Excuse me, would you mind if I sat with you?
A mystery man asked. My radar went off as soon as I heard his deep, sultry voice. The man's voice had a deep bass and it rumbled around me like thunder. He was magnetic. My eyes widened at the full sight of this delectable human being talking to me. The man had on a black velvet fitted button-down shirt with a floral design. He had on cropped dark jeans and dress shoes to match. His cocoa skin was radiant under the dim bar lights, like the moon gleaming over a body of water. My mouth gaped slightly. "You may..." "Thank you for asking," I said with a modest smile as I gathered myself. I was seconds away from drooling.
My name is Voight Morrison,
he said, flashing his white iridescent teeth with an extended hand. His teeth matched the sparkle in his amber eyes.
How are you this evening?
His lips were moisturized and voluptuous, the perfect shape to suck on. "Hello. My name is Robin Ersimum, and I'm doing well," I said, and shook his hand firmly. My mom always said you could learn a lot about a person from their handshakes. I immediately felt the electricity between our touch. His warm hand shot volts into me, my arms filled with goosebumps. My entire focus was pinpointed on this man. Even the tiniest shift in his position or gaze, I moved with him.
Your radiance is unmatched. You must illuminate in every room you enter, Miss Ersimum.
Each word that slid from his tongue sounded like thick nectar. It tickled my eardrums and touched my spirit. Waves crashed in my stomach, and butterflies fluttered inside of me like a hot flash. I felt my body start to heat up from the tips of my toes to the temples of my head. My vagina moistened and expanded with the possibility of taking him for a ride. I took a sip of water to compose myself. But he smelled so fucking good. It practically melted me. Hints of mahogany, citrus, and chocolate mint wafted toward me and seduced my taste buds. My mouth watered. I could barely focus on the conversation at hand. I wanted to stay in this intimate bubble we created. I could breathe in his scent for ages, and it would still be my favorite smell. "You can call me Robin, and thank you. That was extremely sweet to say," I said, as I shot him a smoldering glance and shifted my gaze toward the musicians on stage. I did not want to give too much away. My infatuation increased by the second. This man was an interesting specimen, a rarity. I wanted to know every inch of him.
I have one cucumber blue and one lavender gin sour,
the server with the blue streaks said, holding a tray with two vibrant cocktails.
Thank you.
Voight said to the young waitress. He slipped a $50 bill onto her tray as she turned to walk away.
You do not have to drink any of it if you don't want to. Robin, no pressure. I'm simply happy you let me sit with you.
Voight said, smiling at me. I offered him a slice smiled back. "What's in my drink?" I asked as I grabbed the lavender-tinted cocktail.
That's the lavender gin sour. So it has impressed 1908 gin, lime juice, house-made lavender syrup, and aquafaba.
This drink was beautiful. It was garnished with organic lavender petals on the side of the glass, and edible feel on a bed of foam. It was such a fun purple drink. "Mum, this one is quite tasty," I said honestly, as I took another sip. "What's in yours?"
I had a lucky guess that you'd like that one. I'm glad you do. This cocktail is my favorite. Less is more sometimes. The cucumber blue also has impressed 1908 gin. Like yours, sparkling water, fresh cucumber, mint, and basil.
He took a bite out of his cucumber garnish, and I watched him chew every bite. I didn't know if it was the melody of the music, something in the air, or the alcoholic proof of my cocktail, but I wanted this moment to last forever. The music continued to play, but the sweet sounds were muffled as if I were underwater. I felt weightless and free. The only thing that mattered was the intensity of the heat coursing through me. I felt myself becoming one with the music, the room, and the people around me, I felt a burning sensation in the core of my belly, which could have easily been from the jinn. I allowed this heat to waft.
So, do you have any questions? Yes. Well, I'll check the chat now, actually.
Oh, is typecast the same as the script?
I've never used a script, but I assume so, but if it's an AI voice.
It's similar. Similar. It's just everybody has different collections of voices. Like the dude's voice was fantastic. Like that, I just want him to narrate everything I ever do. Like I'm just gonna start typing out shit I'm doing, and Pygmy sitting down and having a beer now.
Pygmy, have you played Bastion?
No.
It's just like a Zelda style video game, but it has a narrator that narrates everything you do. Like that moment in Zelda where you're just smashing pots for no reason. The narrator goes, "The kid just raged for a while." And then sometimes you fall off of stuff and he goes, "And that's where our story ended." And then you come back and he goes, just kidding. It's awesome.
That's pretty good.
That's an
incredible
one of the best AI voices I've ever heard.
In Halloween, he's a vampire, like a vampire guy. So I just wrote it down. Dark and mysterious. Any last questions?
It's super good.
Yeah.
That was great.
You see, it can actually make like an angry tone or like an angry tone or like a different tone.
And it depends on the AI.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have like audiobook characters you can choose from, game animation characters you can choose from.
Okay, it's interesting. Yeah.
How much is it?
Yeah.
Well, I had the basic plan for $40 a month.
Okay.
It doesn't roll over though. Someone should know that. So if you don't use your hours,
Yeah, I hate that. That's so disgusting.
It's a free plan, but you only get about like 3 minutes of downloadable time. So I think not.
Well, in Midjourney, at least you can put on relaxed mode if you run out of time, and it'll still work.
I have the $30 a month Midjourney. I cannot approach the hours. Like I leave it on fast full time, use it every day, and it's
Is the one on Discord, is that on fast or relaxed?
It should be on fast. Is it hitting the limit?
Folks have been using that.
Docs, Maggie, Docs. Collateral docs.
Let me stay like go on.
Fun to actually have images to go with it. You know what I mean? It is kind of fun. It's a fun. That's all.
Still running 5.
It looks great though. I mean, it always looks great.
That's right.
See this.
Whoa! I can't believe that. That seems weird to me. Yeah, it is.
I would like to make something. Glide fast.
Oh my God.
Suddenly he knows it's Maggie. He just needed more volume. I got in trouble in this room earlier today. Yelled at by a friend of mine for being something I didn't do anymore.
Actually, the name of a Stephen King short story about demons. Sometimes they come back. So Thimble is just the name of them. It's actually the name of an Elizabethan stage devil. Like like Flibberty Gibbet come from stage devils, and so is Thimble. That looks so good. Nobody gets murdered in your own games. I mean, there are lots of games I like where people get murdered all the time.
It's nice to have a break from it sometimes.
The protagonist gets everything so.
Back down the sound a little more. The roller on the guitar.
Why does that have to be so loud, Maggie?
That's perfect. They just want more. They just want more. More Meg.
More Meg. Less loud piano music.